فَإِن لَّمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَكَ فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّمَا يَتَّبِعُونَ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنِ اتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ بِغَيْرِ هُدًى مِّنَ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ.
Tafsir Surah Al-QASAS Ayah 50 has described about Nas. People that always follow Nas without asking guidance from Allah. In this world, people living with Nas will bring harm to himself, especially we as a Muslim must receive our Nas from committing maksiat. Allah will help people who seeking guidance from Him, and Allah will not guide the wrongdoers. One of the current issues that related in this ayah is pedophilia. Many children has become victim of pedophilia in Malaysia. Some of the people only follow his nafs because they do not have iman and do not feel guilty toward children, as if they have been given a test from Allah to restrain the nafs from having a sex, and they should pray or dua to avoid it. As a Muslim, we need to avoid from shaitan excitement from committing maksiat. Children are victimized by older people to them having sex. Pedophilia is becoming more prevalent because people whose faith fluctuated until they lost guidance from Allah. From this ayah has explained to control our nafs committing sins and maksiat. Pedophilia is defined as a sexual interest in prepubescent children. It is empirically linked with sexual offending against children. Child pornography offenders and sex offenders with child victims are more likely to be pedophiles based on self-report or objective measure of sexual interest. At the same time, some pedophiles have not had any known sexual contact with children, and perhaps half of sex offenders against children will not meet diagnostic criteria for pedophilia.
There are several characteristics of a pedophile. First, of to find excuses to be alone with the child. Second, of to take the children forward and just two of them. Third, trying to touch the child's lips start from an impression in the park, for example, hugging a child's shoulder or holding his hand. So, let's move on the effect of pedophilia in children. First, traumatic. Second, persistematic, phobic and passive. Therefore, to prevent this issue, there are methods and ways in overcoming the problem of pedophilia. There have been no studies or proof that pedophilia can be reversed. Instead, the therapies will aim to help people who were motivated to resist acting on their sexual attraction, gain control over sexual cues, lessen sexual desire, or develop self-management skill. First, behavior treatment. Overseas conditioning technique, for example, are used to educate children to resist sexual cues repeatedly. Next, medicine treatment is aiming at lowering sexual desire in children and attempt to diminish sexual conduct.
In conclusion, high sexual desire, a lack of moral value, a lack of self-control, and sexual abuse are viewed as a major factor contributing to the existence of sexual attraction to children. Proposals to include sex education in formal education are not widely supported in some countries. This makes it difficult to educate children about the criminal risk of pedophilia. A major reason for higher rates of sexual abuse may be a lack of disclosure on sex education. As a result, sex education programs should be implemented uniformly in school. It is important to understand that the purpose of sexual education is not to encourage more sexual activity. Instead, sexual accountability should be taught to children, adolescents, and adults. Children may also be unaware of and uninformed about sexual misconduct. Children are less concerned about safe and unsafe touch, so perpetrators are not always reported. Parents should teach their children how to stay safe in situations like this. As a result, this study examines pedophilia through the perspective of the Quran. Although there is no specific discussion of pedophilia in the Quran or Hadith, this does not mean that no evidence exists that cannot be compared to pedophilia.